Welcome to Thoughts from Iron. Again, I'm a little late to the show, if you want. Um, more to the fact that obviously the other bigger channels have done all this, and I didn't want to compete, so I thought I'd record my own video in my own time to get my point of view across on the appointment of Potter to West Ham. We all knew the news broke. Yesterday afternoon at about 3:15 that Lopetegui had obviously been sacked, and this had been a long time coming. Let's not mess around. We'd been waiting probably 48 hours, really, in theory, that Lopetegui was going to be going. Not surprising. It's not been a great 20 games. Half of the season's gone, and we're sitting where we're sitting. Lopetegui's appointment was supposed to be something that pushed us on, took us to the next step after Moyes. Very underwhelming with Lopetegui at the helm. He's gone, and put on record. Thank you for trying. Thank you for falling out with the best players that we had. Thank you for making fans' lives a bloody nightmare. But hey, listen, it's done. He's gone. And Potter was announced officially this morning. We all knew what was coming, but it was announced officially this morning. And he took his first press conference at 9 a.m. I watched the press conference. I was impressed. A few sound bites were fed to the awaiting press. The same old that you expect to get from a manager giving his first press conference. But I thought we came across well. I thought he spoke very well. And I am very excited. Now, it's a good... I wanted Potter initially at the start of the season. We all knew that he was Sullivan wasn't going to make an appointment based on buying a manager out of a contract. We all knew this. Most of us had discussed it either between ourselves or watching videos that had been done. So now I've got friends that are very underwhelmed by the fact that Potter has taken over. Upsets me slightly that they're not happy with the appointment. What I will say is that everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and I do hope that Potter proves them wrong. I've seen some bits online this morning across X that have really piqued my passion for this appointment. I'm really, really excited. Now, with that being said, on the thumbnail to the video, you'll see there that it does say huge credit to Incog Iron over on X. He posted something 18 hours ago on X, and I read through it, and the more I read through it, the more, again, like I say, I got excited. It's what I thought, but seeing it written down by someone else, it kind of really pulled me in. And I want to share some of the things that he put with you guys. I've spoken to him over on Twitter and asked for his permission, as long as I gave him credit, which I have done, and will continue to do so through this video. And he's basically done a thread over on Twitter with several different tweets marking certain aspects of Potter and what Potter will bring to West Ham. And I'm going to go through them with you. Just a couple of them, just because it's what's got me interested. So he puts here that Potter's appointment marks a seismic shift in the club's ambitions and identity. With his emphasis on fluid, intelligent football, it could be the dawn of a new era for the Hammers. Now, if that doesn't wet your whistle, I don't know what else we can do for you. I like Potter's style. I like what Potter what he brought to Brighton. The fact that he encouraged all levels of the playing staff or playing teams from the youth teams up to senior side, that they play the same way from the academies up to the first team. And that really is a big thing for me because as we've seen in the past, you have certain players that then come into the first team and they really don't seem like they're ready. And I don't think that's because they're not ready as a player. I think it's because they're not ready because they're not used to playing in a tactical setup that they previously done so at a different level of the club. Now, when you look at Brighton, they always had someone ready to step in if they lost a player to injury, they lost a player to selling them through. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, and I might be wrong, and you guys out there can let me know if I am, but my memory serves that they sold Bissouma to Tottenham and had a ready-made replacement in Caicedo. Caicedo went to Chelsea. They had a ready-made replacement in Alexis McAllister. He went, and is it Estupinan? I'm not 100% sure. He might be a fullback, but there was another player. Now, that just that gets me. We've seen, was it Odebeko or I think it was either Odebeko or Iferland that came off the bench against Manchester United, lasted about 25 minutes and was substituted again because he was running around like a headless chicken. Not his fault. He didn't train with the first team squad and did the best to his ability, but didn't know what was expected of him because, he wasn't informed. So with Potter coming in and knowing that that's how he wants to be, and the fact that he kind of prepares for the eventuality of players leaving and always has that earmark of the next player to step in, pardon me, that really, really kind of gets me and kind of pulls me down a rabbit hole, if you will. So he goes on to say about Potter's time at Ostersund's. Absolutely, if you go back and you read up on it, they started in Sweden's fourth tier, and over, I think it was 7 years and 3 promotions, got them into the top flight and also into the Europa League, where they actually beat Arsenal. And he was in charge there. It's a great fairy tale story at the beginning, if you want. He comes in and he does. At Brighton, he transformed what was a relegated side. Again, I'm re-paraphrasing kind of what Inkorgayan has put. But at Brighton, he transformed a relegation-threatened side into what Inkog says were possession-based disruptors. And Pep actually came out and said that Potter was the best English manager right now. He achieved the Big Six style without any of their budgets. And again, I listen, under Potter, Brighton were a thorn in our side. They were a pain in the backside. And they always seem to have our number and we always seem to struggle. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing if what he did at Brighton, he can bring to us, make us a very dogged and difficult team to play against. Time will tell, quite clearly. But it's that has me on the hook, because, as I say, I hated it when we came up against Brighton. Absolutely hated it, bar one occasion. And I'm hoping, as I say, we become that version. He follows on with Potter talking to Thomas Frank. About Thomas Frank asks him why he plays so many different formations. And that's because he's got a tactical flexibility. He goes on to say here, Brighton, he used over 13 formations in a single season because he tailors strategies and strengths of the team against oppositions. We we always bemoaned David Moyes because he played the badge and not the side he was coming up against. If you by that, I mean, you know, and reputation, you know, come up against Manchester United. Yeah, no, well, we all had that feeling, didn't we, that we'd go into these games and there'd be nothing there. We wasn't expecting miracles. You know, we're going up against these sides, and Moyes would not necessarily throw it away, but would automatically hit the defensive button. Whereas with Potter, he's known for getting the most out of his team coming up against these kinds of oppositions. As you said in the previous tweet, they're disruptors. They love to disrupt the way the other teams play. One of the other things he's very capable of is changing mid-game, changing tactical setups, changing a formation to suit how the game is going, whether it's for his team or against his team. And he has a habit of being making a good transition mid-game to a different formation and a different tactical, a different outlook on the game, which again has me really excited. He plays 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, but can also adapt to a 4-2-3-1. Now, we've been playing 4-2-3-1 for a good few years now. The double pivot, as it's been named, a kind of high midfield three, and then your striker. Potter's known to like using wing backs and playing high wing backs, wide centre backs. Now, yeah, I can hear people already that's not our strengths. Well, we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. We go into tomorrow's game, and I'll do a review a bit later. We go into tomorrow's game against Villa, and he's having one training session. This is something I didn't understand and mentioned several times to customers yesterday. You know, we had Lopetegui take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday training, and he's not going to be. He was never going to be the manager come Friday for the game. I really didn't think that would be the case, and I was correct. So now Potter has one training session today to get his thoughts and his processes across to the players. He's going to be missing some. He's going to be missing his names, isn't he? He's going to be missing Antonio. He's going to be missing Bowen. We don't know what the deal is at the moment with Emerson. Well, I don't anyway, and I haven't looked at that because I haven't started the stuff for the preview yet. So we could be missing Emerson. We're definitely missing Bowen. Definitely missing Antonio. So that kind of puts a bit of a spanner in the works, maybe with how, you know, he foresees us playing. He loves to disrupt defenses when they're trying to play out. He loves to overload bodies in the forward part of the pit, at the top end of the pitch. You know, 4, 5, 6 forward players pushing and pushing. So again, it's something that we've not seen. We, you know, under Moyes, under Lopetegui, we never saw a high press, if you will. It was always one, and then the ball would be able to be played out. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and that, you know, that kind of tactical flexibility that he has can be key for players like Bowen when he comes back. Paqueta, who's not been fantastic for us this season. He really hasn't. It has not been fantastic for us this season in any way, shape, or form. Potter's style of play could fit Paqueta hands down. Iron goes on to say that Potter's approach suits the physical and technical attributes of our squad, which is going to be fantastic, and he's constantly seeking to exploit half spaces and running into the gaps. So again, when you've got players like Bowen, Kudus, Somerville, constantly on the move, constantly looking to get in behind the defenders, the way Potter likes to play, I think it's going to suit those types of players. Moving on, youth development and stability. Potter champions youth and clear academy pathways. our academy stands to gain immensely from that. And again, this comes back to what I was saying earlier about always having the next one in the pipeline to replace a player that's either injured or moves on to another club. As we saw with Brighton, Basuma, Casiado, McAllister, there was always someone ready to step in. There's always the eye on the academy. There's always the eye on brighter youngsters elsewhere that step into the academy and then move up. One thing I do like about Potter, as I said earlier, is the fact that he likes all the teams to play in the same sort of way. That way, when the players are called up, if I remember rightly, they played an FA Cup game number of years ago under Potter, where he gave two debuts, I think, to youngsters out of the academy. And they slotted right in because they knew their job. They knew their position. They knew they had tactical knowledge of what was expected of them. And that can only benefit players like Orford, Scholes, George Earthy when he comes back, Freddie Potts when he comes back, Caelan Casey, the fact that he likes to play three at the back, three centre-backs. The fact that we only have three should give Casey more of a chance to develop and push on into a first-team role. So the fact that he does champion and the fact that he does like a career pathway for the academy can only benefit our youngsters, really can only benefit our youngsters. We've always banged on about us being the academy of football. For me, it's just a moniker at the moment. There's no one come through. Declan Rice, Mark Noble. You go back when we produced the likes of Cole, Carrick, Lampard, Glenn Johnson. I know Ben Johnson was more recently. Glenn Johnson, Jermaine Defoe. Okay, we nabbed him from Charlton, but he still come through. The latter stages of his academy life were with us. That also then gives us more to champion. Our own players. It's all well and good. Having the likes of Kudus coming in, Paqueta, these names that have forged a career elsewhere then come to us. We love one of our own. So to see some of them come through and be part of that, I'm absolutely thrilled for. Absolutely thrilled for. The fact that Potter likes a project, I can see us being that project, and I can see us really pushing on. I'm glad he's got a 2.5-year contract. I'm glad that in a sense, Everton stuck their head above the parapet and had a little look if Potter was still available, because it gave Potter a little bit more of a bargaining chip when it comes to negotiating his contract. The club only wanted to give him 6 months. He wanted 2.5 years. The club were willing to do 2.5 years with a break clause in it. I'm being led to believe now that the break clause no longer exists. So it's just a straightforward 2.5-year contract, which is fantastic, which is absolutely brilliant going forward for us, for Potter. Potter has a master's. I can't remember what it is, but it's in a for the life of me, it's gone. But Incog Iron says here, he's emotional intelligence in football. Potter's academic background in emotional intelligence sets him apart. He fosters trust, collaboration, and a shared purpose. The squad morale and unitedness needs to help more than ever, and hopefully he can bring that back to the London Stadium. Couldn't agree more. We seem lost as a unit at the moment. There was a lot of aggression from the squad towards Lopetegui. There was a lot of infighting, a lot of confrontations, and we can't be doing that. Which then lost the fans because the results weren't great. Fans were siding with the players, turning their backs on Lopetegui, turning their back on some players when some players are not playing well. And we need to get that united front back. He goes on to say about ball-playing defenders. With ball-playing defenders like Max Kilman and Jean-Claire Todibo, West Ham can adopt Potter's preference from playing out from the back while maintaining defensive stability. Don't be surprised if Kilman thrives in this setup, stepping out and breaking the lines. But what we do lack is a ball-playing goalkeeper. Potter relies on a goalkeeper adept with the ball at their feet, which we don't have. He likes to build out from the back. So I can see a ball-playing goalkeeper is going to be a priority, either in January or in the summer. The final one then from Incog was Potter was the one. He is the best option for our club. It actually seems like it's a destined fit. The powers of alignment in full display. The appointment signals a bold, progressive vision. The future could be transformative and golden for West Ham United. Let's enjoy the ride. And I 110% couldn't agree more with that. It really does thrill me to think that we've now got a progressive manager to build a club. If you know what I mean, he built Brighton with the help of the chairman and a few others, and hopefully with what he brings into the club, maybe Dan Ashworth, maybe Carl McCauley, the rest of his backroom staff. I understand that Xavi Valero will be sticking around. He's been our goalkeeping coach since Pellegrini. He's stuck around under Moyes. So with a bit of luck, that stability there within that. And he's also he's very integral when it comes to the recruitment of goalkeepers as well. So it's good to see him sticking around. Again, very, very excited. Go back to the formations that Potter was known for playing. I just found another tweet here: 4-2-3-1, 3-4-3, and a 4-3-3 formation when he was with Brighton, and he adopts an attacking kind of pressing display, which I'm really looking forward to. Guys, I think this is a fantastic appointment. I know that there are going to be people that are very umming and ahhing about it, very underwhelmed, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Me, I'm the other side of that coin. Really excited. Cannot wait to see what we kick in with. I'm going to be doing a little preview for the Villa game a bit later today. I may well do it live, but I'm very aware of all the bigger channels bringing out all of their videos as well. So I don't want to kind of get stomped on and lost in the melee of these bigger channels. So it may well just be a recording. You guys can watch it at your own leisure. As the banner at the bottom says, please leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the appointment of Potter. I'll be very, very interested to know if there's anyone else out there just as excited as I am with this appointment. If you haven't already done so, if you're new to the channel, if you've seen me for the first time, please hit subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it actually puts a big smile on my face as well. Like the video. It does me a favor with the algorithms within YouTube. When people search West Ham, it gives me a chance of being up there amongst the big boys and might bring some new subscribers in and new viewers. So that'd be very much appreciated. I'm really looking forward to see where this goes. I hope you follow me through the channel on the journey of Graham Potter, and we can see where we go. Look out for the preview of the Villa game, and I'll catch up with you all down the line. Come on, you Irons.